Today, we're going to talk about a skill that really belongs to every single one of us, not just doctors or paramedics. We're talking about first aid. It's that piece of knowledge that gives you the power to act when, literally, every second is on the line.
So picture this, an accident, a sudden collapse, someone choking. It happens right in front of you. Your first reaction? It's probably going to be panic, right? That's totally natural. But what if you could swap out that fear for the confidence to actually help? Well, that's exactly what we're digging into today.
And this quote it nails it. In moments of crisis, knowledge and confidence can make all the difference. See, it's not just about knowing what to do. It's about having the self-assurance to actually step up and do it. And that confidence is built on just a little bit of basic understanding.
So let's start right there, in those critical moments. Because the gap between knowing what to do and freezing up, well, that gap is measured in seconds, and those seconds can and do save lives.
You know, this is such an important way to look at it. We tend to think of first aid as a purely medical skill, but it's really more than that. It's kind of a civic duty. It's the one tool that can transform you from a helpless bystander into that first, crucial link in the chain of survival.
Okay, so you've made the decision to act. Awesome. Now what? Well, the first step isn't to just jump in blindly. The absolute core principle of first aid is to stay calm and be systematic. You have to assess the situation before you do a single thing.
And that process is actually a super simple three-step flow. First up, safety. Is the scene even safe for you to go into? Remember, you can't help anyone if you get hurt yourself. Second, what's the victim's condition? You got to figure out what's going on with them. Are they conscious? Are they breathing? And then third, prioritize. Based on what you just saw, what needs to be done right now. It's just a clear, logical way to think through the chaos.
All right, so with that assessment framework in your head, let's get into the skills themselves. These are the real high-impact techniques, the things that can truly, fundamentally, make a difference in an emergency.
You know, first aid covers a surprisingly wide range of stuff. We almost always think of CPR or stopping bleeding, right? But it also includes knowing how to handle burns, what to do for a fracture, and even environmental emergencies like heat stroke. Being truly prepared means having a basic game plan for all sorts of possibilities.
Now, this right here is crucial. You have to understand that different emergencies require different responses. For something huge like a heart attack or a stroke, your main job is to recognize it and get advanced medical help on the way, like yesterday. But for severe bleeding or choking, the actions you take right there on the spot are the most critical factor of all. So let's start with the big one, CPR. When someone's heart stops, their brain and all their vital organs are being starved of oxygen. CPR? Well, it's the bridge. By doing chest compressions, you are literally pumping blood through their body for them, buying absolutely critical time until the paramedics arrive.
And just as critical as CPR is controlling bleeding. In fact, uncontrolled bleeding is one of the top causes of preventable death from an injury. That's huge, and it means that learning the simple act of applying direct, firm pressure to a wound is an incredibly powerful, life-saving skill to have.
It also helps to know what you're dealing with because not all wounds are created equal. You've got everything from a simple scrape and abrasion to a clean cut or laceration, all the way to something much deeper like a puncture. Just recognizing the type of injury is that first step in knowing how to treat it the right way. But first aid isn't just about the physical stuff. An emergency is a deeply, deeply traumatic event, and honestly, providing emotional and psychological support can be just as critical as bandaging a wound. So, what even is psychological first aid? Think of it like emotional triage. It's not about being a therapist. It's about being a calm, supportive human presence in a moment of total chaos. Your only goal is to reduce that immediate stress and help someone feel safe until they can get more help. And you really don't need to be a professional to do this. The most important thing is just to offer simple, human comfort. Listen to them, reassure them that they're safe now, and then help them figure out that very next step, whether that's calling a family member or just waiting for the ambulance to arrive.
When you put all this information together, it really points to one thing, a call to action. It's about you making the conscious choice to shift your role from just being a bystander to becoming an empowered responder.
I absolutely love this phrase from the source material, a beacon of hope. Think about that. In a moment of absolute terror for someone else, your calm, prepared presence is exactly that. It's a light that just says, hey, help is here. You are not alone.
And this is the key takeaway from all of this.
The most powerful tool you have in an emergency, it's not going to be in a first aid kit. It's the knowledge right here in your head that allows you to act with confidence and with purpose.
So, I'll just leave you with this question. It's a bit of a challenge, but it's also an invitation. The next time an emergency happens, and there will be a next time, will you be ready? Will you have the knowledge and the confidence to step forward